I'm sitting on top of him.
This is the most tenacious girl I've ever seen who survives in the wild. He took out a giant turtle weighing over 10 pounds with his bare hands. Even the black snake was a little afraid when it saw her, chasing the black snake and shouting for grilled meat. Green algae water is dirtier than sewage. The teammate just took a sniff. I was instantly nauseous to the point of vomiting. Such a fierce and strong girl. How did it survive in the marshland for 21 days? The challenge location for this issue is the Everglades in Florida. The male lead, Bob, is a 41-year-old young and strong man. As a wilderness survival enthusiast, I watched the first episode of the original survival video updated by Treasure Hunter at home. I think it's very exciting for Matt to hunt crocodiles and wild boars. He also wants to give it a try in the Everglades, Florida. Bob is best at fishing, once praised by an elderly woman as a catfish harvester. The female lead, Danny, is a slender 32-year-old girl. She once completed a 14-day primitive survival challenge. The mosquitoes in the jungle at night are the creatures she fears most. Her previous successful experiences gave her great confidence to conquer the Everglades in Florida.
I'm ready for the 21 days. I'm gonna conquer Florida.
There was no awkwardness at all when the two met. Tall or short, fat or thin, they are simply a perfect match. Danny has already completed the 14-day fan challenge experience. It made Bob feel extremely impressed. My first challenge was for 21 days. I don't know if it will succeed. The two checked the survival equipment they had brought. Danny brought the parachute cord. There are many crocodiles in the marshes of Florida. Umbrella ropes can be used to catch crocodiles. And Bob brought a machete. This really took me by surprise. A fisherman who calls himself a catfish harvester. I didn't even bring any fishing gear. There are also fire sticks and iron pots provided by the program team. They checked the map to look for nearby water sources. The weather is very hot now. Bob was eager to find a shady spot to build a shelter. At the beginning, they need to walk 5 kilometers to reach the water source. Walk 5 kilometers barefoot under the scorching sun. Just this alone is no simple matter. Soon they arrived at a shady jungle area. Considering that there are many snakes in the marshland, Bob cut down a branch to make a hunting spear. This spear can be used as a walking stick. It can also be used as a weapon when encountering snakes. Bob's behavior everywhere reflects his professionalism. Let Danny feel that she can definitely complete the 21-day challenge successfully.
We're gonna make it to 21 and more, I'm sure.
When they had finished making the spears, Danny found a crocodile nearby. This crocodile is lying right inside the hole. The two stood here analyzing the crocodile situation. They think that crocodiles are in the breeding season now. At this time, crocodiles are extremely fierce, so they decided to leave here. Sometimes knowing too much is not necessarily a good thing. After walking continuously for 3 hours, they came to a large meadow. A pool of water appeared on the grassland. Could this small puddle be the water source point marked on the map? This is a bit too deceptive, isn't it? The small puddle is full of green algae. All around is animal droppings. The thing that survivors fear most is that the water source they find is polluted. Water like this may contain parasites, such as cryptosporidium, which can cause severe diarrhea, vomiting, and intestinal diseases. But the surrounding environment is very good. Bob wants to set up a camp here, but when Danny wanted to build a shelter, Bob thinks it's very hot now. Just build a simple shelter. The nearby environment is very dry. Danny collected some dry firewood and fleece to prepare for making a fire. You can easily make a fire with a fire stick. After there was fire, they filled a pot with water before it boils. Bob thinks drinking this green water is no different from drinking feces. There are many palm trees near the camp. These broad leaves can be used to make mattresses. When the water boils, both Danny and Bob tried this water. Unexpectedly, there's no problem. 45 minutes after drinking water, Bob coughed a few times. He began to feel a little unwell. After nightfall, in addition to discomfort, there is also a feeling of vomiting. Suddenly, Bob ran aside and began to vomit frantically. After enduring the first night, Bob didn't undergo a corpse transformation, but I have been feeling unwell all along. Danny also drank that pot of water yesterday, but she has no problem at all. Bob was impressed by Danny's bully figure. I have been here for more than a day. They only boiled a pot of water. Bob cut down branches to build a shelter. Danny, on the other hand, arranged some ropes with tree fibers. The two began to build a shelter together. Bob is mainly responsible for felling, but this is a physically demanding job. The emaciated bodies soon couldn't hold on.
Dang, I about already got to take 5. I barely feels like I got a volcano inside of.
Only 2 trees have been cut down. I just feel so exhausted. Bob handed the machete to Danny, and I myself was holding my belly, feeling extremely uncomfortable. I took a sip of the periodic table yesterday. It still hasn't returned to normal today, although Danny understood Bob's situation. But I'm also a soy sauce player. It's impossible to work. She suddenly saw a snake in the tree hole. He grabbed the snake's tail with one hand and tried to pull it out. Bob came over immediately upon hearing the call. The two immediately launched a primitive hunting activity. A person held the tail of the snake. Another person was hunting the snake down with a spear.
Dinner?
Dinner.
Good job.
Bob cut the snake meat into small pieces. When Danny checked, she found that the snake meat contained a lot of parasites. These parasites may hide in the muscle tissue. If not thoroughly heated, consumption can lead to severe intestinal infections and even parasitic diseases, posing a threat to health. They put the clean snake meat into an iron pot to stew. Just stew it thoroughly. These snake meats are also safe to eat. When stewing snake meat, Bob has been spitting. Perhaps he wanted to spit out the periodic table of elements he drank yesterday. Bob grabbed a piece of snake meat to taste. The smell is like a stinking ditch. It tastes as hard as a stone. He couldn't take a bite of this texture and taste. Only Danny was still holding the snake meat. I really want to eat. Bob, however, said it was like stewed meat in a stinking ditch. No matter how disgusting the words are, Danny finally ate this piece of snake meat. And they also ate very well. He ate one piece, and then another. Bob said he couldn't eat such disgusting food. He came to the grassland with a spear in hand. Seeing this pool of fecal water, I felt nauseous and vomited instantly. The smell wafting from this puddle. It smells as bad as standing beside a septic tank in summer.
I know, there will not be no drinkable water in that hole. For me and my partner with 90-plus-degree weather, no more water to be found. You cannot survive in this hostile environment without water. You can't.
Thinking of drinking these periodic tables of elements every day, Bob was a little at a loss. Now he is in a dilemma. In the evening, the two just squatted on the ground chatting. It's been 2 days since the start. The shelters haven't even started to be built yet. It's really amazing when two soy sauce players team up. On the third morning, Bob told Danny that he wanted to withdraw from the competition because he has physically detested this place. The environment here is unbearably hot and stuffy, and there is no clean water source. Surviving in the wilderness here is not what he wants.
Physically, the heat, the sweltering heat.
Well, I'm just going to say I'd rather you here than leaving.
Although Danny didn't want Bob to withdraw from the competition, but this really can't be forced. The environment here is indeed very bad. If the survival from now on only depends on going hungry, then Bob's body surely couldn't bear it. Before Bob left, leave the machete to Danny. I can fully understand Bob's withdrawal from the competition, even though there is clean water here. He surely couldn't stand going hungry for 21 days either. After the strong young man left, Danny was sitting alone by the fire. For a moment, she was a little at a loss. Lost the company of teammates. Only this pot of periodic table of elements could soothe her soul. Even if you drink water every day, you can still get through the 21st day and win a 100,000 yuan bonus. Danny lost all her direction and motivation here. At this moment, she doesn't know what to do now. Danny was exploring nearby with a spear in hand. She wants to find another water source. Clean water sources are a necessary condition for survival here. What made her desperate was, even the rivers have long dried up. The marshland is even more desperate during the dry season than in Africa. It was the 4th day. Danny began to try to build a shelter. The first thing she set up was a raised bed that lifted off the ground. Build a triangular frame with branches. Then make a bed frame out of branches. Lay a layer of palm leaves and a layer of moss fluff as a mattress. A primitive wilderness elevated bed is now ready. Danny lay in bed like this all day long. It was the 5th day. Danny just gave up on the bed. The program team sent over another strong young man. Kyle is a rugby coach. He once completed a 14-day survival challenge as well. He can be regarded as a returning player. Kyle is good at building shelters and hunting for food. The item he brought was also a machete. So Kyle came to the rescue this time. Can you complete the challenge together with Danny?
Hello? Coming to join you on a challenge.
Danny could never have imagined it. The program team will also arrange a teammate for her. Danny told Kyle. The previous teammate withdrew from the competition early due to psychological barriers. As a substitute member, Kyle, he said he would keep challenging until the end. For Kyle, there are ready-made campsites now. There's no need to waste effort building it anymore. All you need to do is work hard to get food, and you can survive here. Danny took Kyle to check the water source. Kyle couldn't imagine. This small puddle turned out to be his water source for the rest of his life. Is this no different from drinking sewage every day? The two immediately checked the map to look for other water sources. They decided to move the camp. At present, the best decision when moving house. After dark, the two lay in the shelter, looking forward to finding a new water source tomorrow. It's the 6th day. They checked the map early in the morning. After determining the direction, they set off with all their belongings. The hiking distance this time is 4 miles. Many snakes appeared on the dry grassland. They took every step very carefully. After passing through the messy grass, entered a palm tree grove. To Kyle's surprise, the environment here is extremely dry. We walked for more than 2 hours. Kyle was already sweating all over, but they didn't find any trace of water sources. The thorns on the ground constantly reminded them that it was very dangerous here. 3 hours later, they came to a large meadow. Here they heard the croaking of frogs. A source of water came into view. Kyle and Danny found the largest water source on the map. Fortunately, the water source is very clean. On closer inspection, it was discovered that there were crocodiles in the water. Crocodiles are actually not very terrifying after the problem of water source was solved. Next, they still need to consider the location of the shelter. Danny thought the small woods opposite were quite nice. They unexpectedly discovered rabbits on the grassland. Danny, who has been hungry for 6 days. I had been drooling over this rabbit for a long time. She held a spear, intending to hunt the rabbit. Kyle also joined the encirclement with a machete in hand. The rabbit is right in this palm grove, facing the encirclement of the two. Rabbits are shuttling back and forth among the palm groves. Although the two of them possessed powerful hunting weapons, they never succeeded in hunting. Here there is a big tree that forms a natural shady environment. Kyle plans to build a shelter here. There aren't many tree resources around. Kyle directly selected materials from this big tree. The machete made a metallic clanging sound on the big tree. Every cut seemed to be taking the life of this tree. After cutting down a few branches, Kyle was so exhausted, he looked at the Danny in front of him, who was as strong as an ox. Recall the teammate who participated in the challenge before. The experience of their quarrel was still vivid in his mind. Kyle was glad that Danny wasn't so wild. It feels different to be with capable teammates. They plan to build a sloping shelter on the big tree. Build a shelter framework on a big tree. Then lay a layer of palm leaves as the roof. Palm leaves are broad and hard. It is a good material for building the roof of a shelter. Now they finally have a home in the marshland. A person can go without food, but not without water. Danny drank water for 6 consecutive days, but still didn't lose any weight. They now have the conditions to survive. I haven't had the chance to enjoy it yet. Kyle then found that his body had been sunburned. The entire back was sunburned red. It's as hot as being wiped by chili peppers. It's the 7th day. Kyle is scared even when he sees the sun now. He deeply regretted not taking proper precautions when moving yesterday. It will take at least 2 days to recover. I'll have to rely on Danny for food in these 2 days. Danny came to the pool with a spear in her hand, although there are crocodiles in the water, but the ripples of all sizes on the water surface. It proves that there are quite a few fish in this pool. Danny wasn't fishing here. Instead, he walked to the small puddle on the other side. She guessed that there was very likely to be catfish in this pool. Fishing for crocodiles is dangerous. There must be no accidents when fishing for catfish, right? After Danny returned to the camp, tell Kyle the news. She wants to go to the pool with Kyle to catch catfish. They began to make fishing tools. Wait until the sky turns cool. Kyle came to the pool to look for bait to fish. There are many of these little lizards on the rocks. Kyle caught a little lizard very soon. Make lizards into bait and string them on the fishhook. Danny threw the fishing line into the water. While waiting for fishing, she is exploring nearby. Snakes are usually hidden by the pool during the dry season. Danny was searching under the palm trees. I unexpectedly discovered a black snake. Black is the fastest snake in the world, but for a woman who had been hungry for 7 days, this black snake. Danny chased the black snake like a hungry wolf pouncing on its prey. For a moment, I couldn't tell which was more venomous. The black snake hid in the palm grove.
He was fast. I missed him.
The kebabs that Danny was looking forward to. Kyle has been waiting by the pool. There has been no response from the fishing line all along. Waiting like this will only waste time. They had no choice but to return to the camp temporarily. It's the 9th day. Kyle came to check the fishing line early in the morning, but gained nothing. If this goes on, I'll really starve to death. Looking at the gray sky, there should be a rain soon. They are all looking forward to the rain coming soon. After 9 days of intense sun exposure, this rain undoubtedly helped them cool off. The temperature also drops rapidly after the rain. They began to feel a little cold. They sat in the shelter. I was completely unaware of collecting rainwater. At this moment, a strong wind blew in the sky. Kyle was worried that the shelter would be blown over. Danny covered herself with palm leaves as a quilt. It is unknown how long this heavy rain will last. They had no choice but to lie down and rest in the shelter. In the evening, they were already soaked through. The heavy rain they had been expecting had turned into a nightmare for them. Fortunately, the heavy rain stopped after dawn. Danny was bitten all over her body. Kyle, however, curled up in the shelter. Now their situation is like a world of extremes. Either get sunburned from the heat, either shiver with cold. Danny wants to improve the shelter. She cuts down palm leaves. Continue to reinforce the roof of the shelter with leaves. Danny was cutting down palm trees. I accidentally hurt my eye. The wood shavings from felling flew into my eyes. My eyes hurt so much that I can't open them at all. Wood chips cause intense irritation and pain, making the eyes water instantly and affecting vision. This situation is extremely dangerous. If not cleaned up in time, the debris may scratch the cornea, causing corneal abrasion with symptoms including eye pain and blurred vision. After the doctor examined Danny's eyes, rinse your eyes immediately with clean water. Fortunately, there was nothing serious, but the stinging pain in the eyes did not completely subside. The doctor told her to call her again if it still hurt tomorrow. There are only 2 people in the team in total. After losing a laborer, Kyle was alone in charge of the construction of the shelter. It's the 11th day. The redness and swelling in Danny's eyes have subsided, but I still feel a bit uncomfortable, not having a big barbecue meal. These eyes definitely won't get better. The crocodile was waiting for them in the water. Danny came to the shore to check the fishing line. The result is disappointing. It's the 12th day. Kyle's daily task when he gets up is to check the fishing line, but caught nothing. At this moment, a crocodile crawled out of the palm forest, but Kyle didn't dare to hunt at all. The tree hole by the shore is the crocodile's lair. Perhaps setting up hunting traps here is a good idea. It's the 13th day. Danny had been hungry for more than 10 consecutive days. She also began to give up when they were fishing by the shore. I saw a nose emerging from the water. Danny realized that this might be a big turtle. Just got into the water to catch, but the turtle vanished without a trace at once. Danny stood by the water. She poked the water with a long spear. I was unexpectedly poked at a turtle by her.
I'm sitting on top of him.
It's really a pity. This turtle weighs at least 10 pounds. 2 people catch a big turtle. I thought it was a done deal. Unexpectedly, Kyle was startled. It's not just a barbecue feast that's running away. It is also the hope for Kyle and Danny to survive. It's the 15th day. Danny came to the grassland with a spear in hand to look for food. It rained heavily the other day. There was quite a lot of water accumulation on the grassland. It's very easy to encounter snakes in this situation. Danny picked up the palm leaves on the ground. I never expected that there would really be a snake under the last leaf. Danny fished underwater with a long spear. She caught a small snake. This was Danny's first successful hunt. Go hungry for more than 10 days. Finally, I can have a meal. Danny returned to the camp with the snake. Danny brought back the food. Kyle is the happiest. He is hungrier than Danny. After peeling the snake, just skewer it directly on a branch and roast it. This grilled meat meal was an unforgettable delicacy for them. Although the protein content in snake meat is not high, but it feels great to have food in your stomach. It's the 18th day. Kyle's plan for today is fishing. They used the snake innards from yesterday as bait. Catfish usually like to eat carrion. Hope Kyle can catch a catfish. Early the next morning, Kyle came to the shore again to check the fishing line. I never expected that a fish would really bite the hook this time. Kyle caught 2 catfish at the same time, although it is not very big. 2 catfish aren't really a big meal, but it was enough to satisfy their hungry stomachs. After returning to the shelter, I immediately started grilling the fish. The success of this hunt gave them great confidence in survival. Finish eating these 2 grilled catfish. Finally, my stomach felt a little full. Many red imported fire ants appeared in the shelter. They were in unbearable pain from being bitten all over. It's the 20th day. Danny's whole body was red and swollen from being bitten. On the ground at the entrance of the shelter, the red imported fire ant nest can be clearly seen here. They were forced to dismantle and relocate the shelter. Kyle and Danny moved the shelter to an open area. Build a new camp again. I never expected to hear terrifying cries in the middle of the night. They don't know what kind of sound this is. Danny checked with a flashlight. Only then did I realize it was a crocodile. After getting through the night, today is the day for evacuation. After the two checked the map and confirmed the direction for evacuation, put out the fire before leaving. This evacuation requires a 4-mile walk. Fortunately, the weather is quite nice today. After hiking for several hours, the two finally reached the evacuation point. That's all for this episode of the video. Watch the latest wilderness survival films.